now you're here. So.
Excited, very excited. We've already got some big guests on tap.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the PHLY Eagles podcast, live from Radio Row. Bo Wulf and EJ Smith, and we've got a very interesting show coming up for you here on Thursday as we are presented by the good folks at Bet365 and Wawa. We are going to hear from Jordan Mailata for his full reaction to the news that Jeff Stoutland will no longer be the Eagles' run game coordinator or offensive line coach. We're also going to get perspective from Greg Cosell on what this new look Eagles offense might look like. A little preview of the Brandon Graham, Chris Long, Bo Allen interview that will be on Unblocked this week. But let's start, EJ. Let's get into this Jeff Stoutland discussion because we went live yesterday, very fresh, and I think we both had a little bit more time to sort of think this thing over, talk to more people, understand a little bit more about what went on here. Where are you now, 20 hours later, or whatever it is?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think where I come down on this, I'll start with the big part first, which is that I think this is a net negative for the Eagles. Now, and I think that when you look at it on its face, it's hard to understand, it's hard to wrap your head around how the Eagles got to a point where one of the best offensive line coaches in the NFL, one of the best assistant coaches in general in the NFL, would leave the building, and this is where they would find themselves. There was no way back. So I think what we should do on today's show is really try to fill in the space because, the Eagles are an organization that has earned the benefit of the doubt that maybe sometimes chaotic, but there is usually logic behind something of this magnitude. At least I think they deserve the benefit of the doubt there. So for me, I think it is, again, trying to fill in the spaces. And some of the things I'm going to talk about, I don't necessarily feel strongly about them, but I do think that it will be necessary context.
I think we are both hearing a lot of different perspectives on this divorce, as it were. It's also important that we keep in mind Jeff Stoutland, the offensive line coach, and Jeff Stoutland, the run game coordinator, are two different
that's
things.
The first big thing I wanted to hit on here.
And there is a perception from some, or an understanding from some, that Jeff Stoutland, the run game coordinator, was not holding up his end of the bargain. Jeff McClain did the reporting that, they had sort of stripped him of that title.
And it's since come out that I think it was Tim McManus's report that Stoutland actually was the one who wanted the title removed.
Right. He says, if this is not what I'm doing, he doesn't want a fake title.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And can we be honest about something? Run game coordinator is sort of like a new title around the NFL. Yeah. I do think it is nebulous from building to building. I want to add that in there. But I think your point is correct that there needs to be a separation between Jeff Stoutland, the offensive line coach, and Jeff Stoutland, the run game coordinator. And before we get into it, I want to make it clear. Jeff Stoutland was the run game coordinator for one of the best rushing offenses in the history of the NFL.
How bad could he be?
2 years ago. So I do think you've seen the ceiling for Jeff Stoutland as a run game coordinator, as one of the best offensive line coaches and one of the best player developers in the league. We have also, but I think what stood out to me as, I talked to people and tried to wrap my head around this, is as they are bringing in Sean Mannion, and Sean Mannion is filling out his staff, it really is a signal that they are moving into a more modern offense that is more closely resembles Sean McVay, Matt LaFleur, and Kyle Shanahan. We've talked about this so much over the last couple of weeks, and I think that, if you think about why that change was needed, right? You think about the way the Eagles offense looked last season, they just had a lot of things that they didn't do. Whether it was quarterback run game, whether it was under center run game, whether it was under center play action, throws over the middle of the field. All of a sudden the menu was so limited. And I do think, not saying that it's solely on Jeff Stoutland, not saying that he is the primary character and why it was limited, but I do think he was a source of some of the limitations based off of some of his preferences, some of the things that he likes to do in the run game, and some of his tendencies in the run game. So I do think that, the way that the analogy I used earlier is it's like you have a sports car and you build a garage around it, and at some point you realize you can't get the car out of the garage, so you have to knock out a load-bearing wall to just clear some space and have a more varied menu offensively here. So, and I'm not saying, but
So do you think it is the scheme is the biggest thing here? Because I actually don't.
No,
I think this is more of a personality dynamics story.
Yes, for the personality
because
dynamics.
here's if for instance they had hired Jim Bob Cooter or Matt Nagy as offensive coordinator, who was not bringing in an offense that was entirely different than the things that we understand Stout to prefer in terms of how you orchestrate the running game. Do you think that he would still be here?
Yeah,
because I kind of don't.
So that is where the scheme informs the personalities at play here. Jeff Stoutland has a big personality. Nick Sirianni has a big personality. Howie Roseman, Jeffrey Lurie. All of the people in this story have a big personality and are used to having control in certain situations. So I think the scheme is what is essential to the topic here, but I also think that the personalities are what drove this to a point. And, again, my bottom line here is it should have never gotten to a point where you should, in the analogy, you don't want to take out the load-bearing wall.
Yeah.
You don't, because I think even if you get a run game coordinator, which we'll talk about, even if you get somebody who is more closely aligned with what Sean Mannion wants to do in the run game, you're still losing the talent developer, the spiritual leader. We'll hear from Jordan Mailata about this. Jeff Stoutland is a massive loss for the organization, even if they can add a run game coordinator that gets them closer to an offense that they want to run.
We will hear from Jordan Mailata. There are so many layers here. And we should say that the Eagles did reportedly hire a new run game coordinator this morning. Ryan Mahaffey, who was with Sean Mannion in Green Bay, was their wide receivers coach last year, but will be the tight ends coach / run game coordinator for the Eagles. That means that Jason Michael will no longer be here. I think the Sirianni-Stoutland dynamic here is very interesting. And it's important to remember that, Nick Sirianni brought a big staff with him, but Jeff Stoutland was not part of that. I think if you were reading between the lines over the years sometimes, if someone was asking Nick Sirianni sort of a softball question about Jeff Stoutland, it would quickly move to, but we have a lot of good coaches, not just puffing up the legend of Jeff Stoutland. And I think there is no doubt that there is a reading of the proceedings here, given some of the reporting that is out there, that the way things were going the first half of the season, it didn't feel like Kevin Patullo was a strong enough personality to necessarily combat with Jeff Stoutland in saying this is actually the stuff we want to do in the run game, which then led to Sirianni and Patullo taking that away from Stoutland.
Yeah.
And if that is part of the case, and if Sirianni feels like Stoutland is to some degree responsible for Patullo's ouster, maybe there's no love lost there, and he's more willing to move on. I think that Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie's their thoughts would have prevailed here, and they would have said it is still very important that you have the best offensive line coach in the league here.
I think they tried to keep him in that
and they
role.
tried to keep him, but Jeff Stoutland is a prideful person.
Yes.
And if don't give me a title that I don't have, maybe pay me more for the effort, I guess. And Jeff Stoutland doesn't want to be somewhere where he's not wanted, and so this is a interpersonal story just as much as it is, if not more so, than a schematic story.
Yeah, I think that the two inform each other, and I agree.
Yeah.
I think and that's why, if you're an Eagles fan, it's a shame that it got to that point. It's a shame that there wasn't a way for them to find a way forward. Because he is they might have a run game that's great next season. They might find an offensive line coach that develops young talent. The Eagles have drafted high picks at those positions.
That's true.
So maybe they will find – maybe they can replace him in the aggregate. That's always what you'll hear.
Right.
But it's going to be a really tough task because of how important he was to that organization.
Right. I think there is I think we here think that Jeff Stoutland is a great offensive line coach.
Yeah.
There is a thought process that is Lane Johnson was the 4th overall pick. Landon Dickerson was a 2nd-round pick.
Yes.
Jordan Mailata is the great story of development. But Cam Jurgens was a 2nd-round pick. Tyler Steen was a 3rd-round pick. Even Jason Kelce, predated him. And so it's not like he turned.
But Kelce has given Stoutland credit.
Of course.
Obviously.
And there are a lot of stories of getting guys ready to replace those guys when they have had injuries who are not of that ilk. I don't have any doubt that Jeff Stoutland is a tremendous teacher.
Yeah.
And to just hear Jason Kelce talk about it, we will hear Jordan Mailata talk about it, all of these guys. My understanding, just talking to people, is the vibes are pretty low right now.
Yeah.
In the building.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I think just one thing I want to add to your Stoutland point here is this is similar to me to like some of our Jalen conversations where I think that the feeling in the building is probably not as unanimous as it is externally.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that feeling is correct. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I think that because again, some people's opinion of Jeff Stoutland, the run game coordinator, isn't as high as most people's opinion of Jeff Stoutland. The overall picture of Jeff Stoutland might suggest. But again, I think the results speak for themselves.
And I will double down on something we talked about yesterday, which is just that this is the most important position coach on the team.
Yeah.
And there are some very mid offensive line coaches. So I'm very curious to see how this replacement search goes. Now, your tingling feeling is because they've added a run game coordinator from the pro level,
with a background with Mannion.
You think they might be trying to poach from college for the offensive line coach?
Yeah, and do you want to save the list? Fran and I were talking about.
Sure.
Let's save it. We'll tease it.
No, give us the list.
Oh, okay, so Alex, he sent me a couple. Alex Mirabal from Miami.
Oh, Mirabel from
Mirabel, sorry. Bill Bedenbaugh from Oklahoma. Kyle Flood from the University of Texas. And
doesn't Kyle Flood have some bad stuff in his background? Am I thinking of somebody else?
I cannot comment.
Okay.
I can neither confirm nor deny. Alik Terry from Oregon. Oregon was the one that jumped out to me. I feel like Oregon's been doing some good offensive line development the last few years. It's not a place that you feel like historically has great O-lines, but the last few years they've done well.
That's some good Franny doing guys. I appreciate that.
I miss Fran.
I miss Fran too.
Yeah.
You want to talk about why I'm wearing this shirt?
No, let's get to Jordan Mailata.
I thought we were doing Mailata after the break.
Oh, I thought we were doing it at the end.
No, we're going to do it.
Okay.
Okay, let's take a quick break. On the other side, we are going to welcome Jordan Mailata for his thoughts on Jeff Stoutland's departure. Please stay with us.
Next, let's talk about Monarch. You will feel organized and confident in your finances with Monarch, an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean interface on your laptop or phone. Whether you're switching jobs like me with past retirement accounts to monitor, or you're just trying to simplify checking your portfolio, Monarch has been perfect to keep an eye on all my finances in one place, and I think it can be that for you as well. It can be so time-consuming checking a handful of different apps. Monarch can be the perfect solution. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you put off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. Don't leave money on the table. This new year, achieve your financial goals for good. Monarch is the all-in-one tool that makes proactive money management simple all year long. Use code PHLY at monarch.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off, 50 off your first year at monarch.com with code PHLY.
Look around this expansive Radio Row. You see a lot of hats. A lot of mid hats, frankly. A lot of people who need to go to Branded Bills. Because whether you need snapbacks, truckers, fitteds, beanies, or tees, Branded Bills has you covered with performance and style. For my money, the best PHLY merch we have going is those Branded Bills hats. Love those bad boys. Looking for some gear to make your brand stand apart from the crowd? Branded Bills has you covered with the best custom headwear. You can start your order, and their dedicated team will help you create the exact custom apparel you need. And they have a partnership with Penn State as a part of their campus collection. How are you going to top that dome of yours? With Branded Bills. Head to brandedbills.com and use code BBPHLY for 15% off your first order. That's code BBPHLY for 15% off your first order at brandedbills.com. Well, you can tell by just looking up that we have the big man here, Jordan Mailata. And Jordan, first of all, welcome to Radio Row.
Thank you.
I think we got to start with what was your reaction when you found out the news about Stout yesterday?
Immediately, I bawled my eyes out. I just immediately talked to Stout, and I couldn't formulate a sentence. I was just crying. And I told him, I'll come see him as soon as I got back home. A lot of people ask me to make a statement right now. I just, online at least, on social media, I'm saying I don't think there are enough words to put in a social media post of what I think of the man and how much he's helped change my life. So I'm to be honest, selfishly, I'm very heartbroken, but I know the man man needs it, man. Needs some rest.
Well, you are certainly allowed to grieve however you need to, and not to speak for you, but it's hard to like look around here, see all the people following you, all the success you've had, and not think, would you have even been here without Stout?
No, that's what I'm saying. There's not enough words that I can speak about this man to show how grateful I am that he helped change my life. He's a big reason.
I guess just like for people who maybe aren't as familiar with it, like how much do you attribute your development to him?
If it was Stout, if I could speak in Stoutlandism, he would say 50%, because 50% he waited for me at the halfway mark, and I had to meet him there. That's how he always said it. It's like, it's not me, it's us. And
Was this something that was on your radar as a possibility, or did it sort of blindside you?
That one blindsided me.
Yeah,
to be honest.
I'm curious always when something like this happens. What is like the text thread like with you and the rest of the offensive linemen? Are you all guys like what WTF? Like, how does that work?
Well, I'm pretty grateful that I have Lane and Landon. They're in San Fran right now, so I was able to connect with those boys last night and kind of grieve together.
Kind of like an Irish wake.
Yeah, I felt like we lost our dad, man. It's crazy.
Well, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was good. Shared trauma, and we just weren't talking about all the times we had with Stout, but I think we're all gonna try and make time to go see him once we get back in Philly after the game, and yeah.
Have you gotten to even the point of wondering what it will be like to play for a different coach?
Very daunting thinking about it, to be honest. I'll be entering year 9. Isn't that crazy to say? Entering year 9 next year. Well, this season coming, and we'll see how this goes. I'm excited, but also scared, man. I'll be honest. I'm nervous.
Yeah.
One of the things that sorry, we gotta.
Not even a whole. You just talk.
All right. One of the things that I heard asking people about Stout yesterday was the toll that the season took. I guess how have the last couple of weeks been for you? I guess trying to rest after what has been a really long stretch for you and everybody in that O-line room.
It's a very long season. Injuries played a big part. The stress of trying to get back to where we were standard-wise in that room. We knew we weren't playing our best football, and every week it was a challenge just to get back to try and playing dominant football and playing Eagle football. It got hard. It got hard, and this break has been, for me at least, very reflective on how I handled the season, dissecting every game I had, how I dealt with it, how I led in the locker room, the way I treated my teammates. For me, it's just been the last couple of weeks. That's all I've been doing, and trying to learn from how to become a better leader entering next year. And that's my biggest takeaways.
Yeah, I was going to say, what were some of the things that you, like hindsight, could only show you?
I think just being a player, not worrying about what plays are being called. Just go out there and do your job. Worry about the execution and not why we're calling this play.
What have you heard about what the Sean Mannion offense might look like, and what was your reaction to that hire?
It was great. I just bumped into Jordy Love, actually.
Okay.
And he said we have a good one.
Okay.
He said we have a good one in him.
That's good.
He said you guys got to stick with him because it's first year play calling. But he said we got a good one. So
have you talked to him yet?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Sean's a great dude.
Seems like a nice
guy.
guy.
Seems like a great guy.
We talked to a few guys. We talked to Drew Locke, who had played with him, a couple of his coaches, and they all had very good things to say.
Okay.
But it's a brand new thing, so it will be interesting to. I mean, it does feel like sort of the start of a new Eagles era, if that's fair.
No, it does. That's why it felt like we were mourning yesterday.
Yeah.
Man. And I've been using comedic relief to get by.
As we all
through
do.
Media Row.
Yeah.
Just to get by, so I don't hysterically start crying in front of everyone. Not that crying isn't okay. Crying is okay, but
there's no toxic masculinity here.
To answer,
I cried on the flight over watching a movie. I mean, it's fine.
Brother, I cried immediately on the phone when he called, and hey man, it's a lot to think about because it's just like, man, it's an end of an era, like you said.
Another one where I don't want you to speak for the guy, but you've only played for Stout. So has Lane. And obviously he's going through everything that went on this season. Like, what do you think his reaction was?
Same as mine.
Yeah.
maybe not as.
He's a little less willing to cry, maybe.
No, he told me he cried.
Okay.
So. I mean, no, he didn't. He didn't cry. He didn't tell me that.
That was off the record, right?
He didn't tell me that.
Are you a part of like the recruitment to try and convince Lane to come back for another year? You've been in his ear about it?
I think. Yes. It's his decision to make. It's him to let you guys know if he's coming back.
Yeah.
Yes, he's coming back, but.
I know that EJ, you guys were talking about the toll that the season took, and obviously part of that is also coming off of the toll that the season before took. And you two had, EJ wrote about this, part of like the tush push and the physical toll that took on your guys' body. Do you already feel a little bit of a rejuvenation of having some extra time?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've been keeping busy, and the snowstorm that passed through last week was not helpful at all.
A lot of shoveling?
Shoveling, but just like, I mean, it's just the mood, the energy.
Yeah.
Bad in Philly. It was bad in Philly when that snowstorm hit, because it was just like, I felt so miserable. It was just like, man, this is crazy. How are we going to get these cars out? These roads are terrible. So.
And do you look around here? BG went through this yesterday, and it's like, this is kind of nice, but man, I'd rather be playing in the game. Is that fuel?
I'm more of a realist. Try to be at least.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking like that because I just get mad.
Yeah.
So I just be like, yeah, we weren't good enough this year. I didn't do a good enough job and not playing. So just look forward to next year. That's it.
I said this to BG yesterday. You are one of the people in the locker room that I would say has the most, I would say one of the closest relationships with Jalen, and somebody who can be a Jalen whisperer, a Jalen translator at times. So what would you say his mindset is this offseason? Where do you think his head is at?
God, is it hot in here? Jesus. He's probably thinking how I'm thinking. Like, we have a big, what feels like a hurdle to overcome now. Learning a new offense, learning the nuances of it, the flow, how it's going to flow. It's going to be a different flow. And we got a new run game coordinator we hired today. Woke up to that news and I was like, great, salt to the wounds. I'm like, man, way to add salt to the wound, man. I'm like, far out. So yeah, it's been a crazy time, but I think that's what he's feeling. Just we have it's going to welcome that obstacle and welcome that hurdle. So.
Any big plans for the off season?
A lot of traveling. Got to go back home to Australia. So.
Good for you.
It's for my ambassador role for the NFL. So yeah, it's a blessing. It's a blessing for sure.
We are happy that you do that. The last thing is EJ does want to get on the record. Where is he in like your beat writer power rankings?
These guys. So I break the news now?
Yeah, break it. Come on.
He's number one. He's number one. He's my guy. I feel like we've been together for a long time.
We have, we've really gone through it together.
We started at the bottom, and now we're here, baby.
So, all right, well, that's great. Jordan Mailata, thank you so much. Back with more on the PHLY Eagles podcast. All right, back on the PHLY Eagles podcast. Thank you to Jordan Mailata for joining his number one favorite Eagles beat reporter, and EJ Smith.
It was nice to hear him say that. It was nice to hear him say that. He was, him and I I've covered him his whole career. I covered him closely even when Joe Osman was destroying him with those spin moves in training camp, and I appreciated him.
So what do you make of the things that he said about Stout and like the team's reaction, the guys that he's with who were here?
Yeah, I alluded to it yesterday during the emergency podcast that guys did not see this coming. Like, this was sudden. Yeah. People were asking me about Lane Johnson and whether or not, this would impact his retirement decision. And I just kept answering, like, I don't think Lane knows the answer to that yet, because this did happen quickly, at least for these guys. It really was a shock. So, as someone, we talked to Jordan about it, like the vantage point of watching Jordan develop and the credit that he gives Jeff Stoutland, and even just like little things like seeing like the cookies that Allison Stoutland makes for the players that are in each of their lockers, like that was a real family bond. So I understand that for these guys, it's still, they're still processing it. It's significant. It's going to take time for them to really be able to get past it.
It is. It truly does sort of mark the end of an era, because if it does lead to Lane leaving, even if Lane returns, presumably it's only for one more year. Like we are in a new world here with the Eagles offensive line, and it could turn out really badly. It really could.
Yeah, no, there's volatility here. As you mentioned, there's not a lot of proven offensive line coaches, especially getting into the hiring cycle late, and they have work to do at that position. Or at that, like on the interior offensive line, I think they probably need to address that in the draft early. And depending on what happens with Lane, I still am probably around 50-50, maybe 55-45 on Lane, like returning. But if he retires, all of a sudden, there's alarm bells ringing for this Eagles offense, and especially this Eagles offensive line.
Do you think that the offensive line's reaction matters to Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie?
Jeffrey Lurie.
Nick Sirianni to some degree?
Jeffrey Lurie and Nick Sirianni, I would say yes. I think it's Howie's job not to get too concerned with that. You have to make tough decisions in that job, and I think Howie has proven that he would. But no, it's a real thing. Like another thing that we talked about with Jordan that we talked about it with Stoutland as well is the toll that the season took on these guys. And we heard from Jordan, like it doesn't feel like he's really had a lot of chance to rest yet. And I think that if I'm the Eagles, I'm doing everything I can, which isn't probably that much, but I'm doing everything I can to try to avoid, or I try to address the fact that those guys were drained this season or last season. Those guys, they were banged up, out of energy, and I think you're still seeing it even now. The impact that the last 18 months have had on them.
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be very interesting. And we'll talk a little bit more about it as the show goes on. We're going to talk to Greg Cosell in a little bit about what he thinks this new-look Eagles offensive line and offensive scheme is going to be. Change is not necessarily a bad thing, I think, is the pull quote from that, but we'll give you that. Before we go to break, though, I want to give you a little preview of what's to come on this week's episode of Unblocked with Brandon Graham, which included a little reunion with the Greenlight guys, Chris Long and Bo Allen. Yeah, what is it like when you see BG? Like, what comes to mind?
Smiles. Instant. Just smiles, dude. Instant smiles. This guy's, he's a morale booster. So 100%. When I just saw BG and I was like, bro, I can't believe you're still playing number one. And number two, like, you've always had a nose for the ball. They put him in the game. He's like, he's just come in cold. 3 sacks right off the bat, dude. This guy he'll be able to rush the passer at 70.
BG's playing on the inside now, too, though.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah, what did you make of that?
I loved it. It is. It's different. I had to learn a different technique, but it was all about attacking. And like you say, man, getting hands off you, because once I got choked up a little bit, it was next play.
He was like the most efficient sack artist in the NFL this year. Also had one taken away from a penalty, so the guy still got it. Yeah.
Man, it feels good. It felt good getting back out there. Of course, it's the addiction of getting them sacks and fighting for them and
totally right.
All that. Oh yeah,
Bet365 has 90 million users worldwide, and they live stream over 780,000 events each year with early payout offers across the NBA and NHL. Bet365 pioneered live in-game betting, and today they offer the widest range of games and markets available for live in-game betting across 78 sports. There's only one football game left this season, but you need to go to Bet365 if you want to take advantage of the early payout offer where your team is a winner. If they're up by 17 points, whether they win or lose, you get the instant payout. Last NFL season, both money lines were paid out 4 times because of the early payout and the end result of the game. We saw this happen with the Eagles this season. So here's what you need to know. New customers now get $200 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up, use the code PHLY365, deposit $10, and place a bet for $5 to get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Must be 21 or older and physically located in Pennsylvania. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. A lot changes in 5 years. 5 years ago, who was even in the Super Bowl? Don't remember. Doesn't matter. So much has changed. The Eagles have a new coach. They've been to the Super Bowl twice. A lot changes. That's why you want to lock in a good deal when you can get it. And that's where Xfinity comes in. Imagine Wi-Fi that makes everything in your home work together, that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. We're talking super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense that lets you stream the game even when the whole family is online. Gets all your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. And the best part is no annual contracts, no hidden fees, and Xfinity's best equipment included. So lock in your price and unlock the possibilities with Xfinity. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Lock in that 5-year price guarantee with Xfinity. We're back on the PHLY Eagles podcast, live from Radio Row. Wulf, EJ Smith. Thanks for staying with us all week. Have a fun episode coming up for you tomorrow as well. But for now, let's get into EJ, the Parx Preview, presented by, of course, our friends at Parx. EJ, what do you, as the Eagles continue to remake this offensive staff, we talked about, what goes into offensive line. Do you think that the rest of the staff is also going to be filled in with young Mannion-y types?
Mannion-y?
Yeah.
I haven't heard Mannion-y yet. That's not bad. I don't mind that. I think at this point, with Jeff Stoutland being among those replaced, nothing would surprise
Certainly
me.
could be anybody, yeah.
Yeah. Now, I would expect. The ones that we don't know yet.
Truthfully, running backs
Aaron
coach
Moorhead
Jamal
and
Singleton, wide receivers coach Aaron Moorhead. There's no pass game court. Oh no, there is. Josh Grizzard.
Josh
So
Grizzard,
Parx Frazier is gone. Yeah. So it's just
really
those
just
two guys.
Moorhead and Singleton.
Yeah. Now, Singleton is also assistant head coach.
Yeah, and Singleton has experience. He's coached under Zach Taylor in Cincinnati.
Okay.
So he has experience in a system that has touch points with the one you expect Sean Mannion to run. I think Jamal Singleton is also a proven running backs coach. I just
to me there's no need to find a different running backs coach.
He has a great relationship with all of his players, but Saquon Barkley as well. The assistant head coach title is significant there. Aaron Moorhead, at this point, especially as Greg Olson with an ON has become a name to watch for the quarterbacks coach job, I feel like you probably would want a receivers coach that's used to and has experience in a system that they want to run. But the thing that I just keep going back to is it is going to look so different offensively next season.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, then Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts come to the forefront as the reasons it's not.
It really is just it is being set up as a clarifying season.
Yeah.
Enough trying to figure out who's responsible for what. Now we are going to figure it out once and for all.
I'm not saying this is what's happened because I don't think it's this black and white, but it is almost like, all right, Kevin Patullo's out, Jeff Stoutland's out, no more pointing the fingers. It's time for you. We brought in a coach that does all of the things that we want to see from this offense. Nick and Jalen, if it doesn't look the way it's supposed to, that is on you two. And I'm not saying it's that simple. I don't think that they made all these decisions with that as the goal, but it is the outcome.
What is your level of confidence that we're going to see a different stylistic version of Jalen Hurts?
I don't think it's particularly high. I think the offense is going to look different. The thing I'm hung up on is I can't tell you if we talked about on yesterday's show. Jalen Hurts wants to hear the why. He wants to understand why you're installing what you're installing before he will jump in 2 feet into a new system and a new concept. We've heard a lot of great things about Sean Mannion while we've been here in particular. I don't know. I can't say with confidence that he is going to have the why. If he does, then I'd feel confident that it's going to look a lot different. Yeah. But without knowing that, I would be dishonest to tell you that I'm 100% or even 80% confident that this is going to look like a McVay-Shanahan offense next season. Okay, how about this? Rank for me these 3 things that could be different about Jalen's game. Throws more over the middle, not to top 10 of the league, but to a significant degree. Moves the they move the pocket a lot more, and he runs more. Which of those 3 things? How would you rank the likelihood of those 3 changes to Jalen Hurts' game? Can I be scheme agnostic here? Can I not focus solely on in a Sean Mannion system? Although we don't really know what that is anyway. What do you mean? Well, I think middle field throws are important, and they might be more important in a system that I'm not asking to rank their importance. I'm asking to rank how likely you think Jalen Hurts is to change those things about his game. I think that moving the pocket is number 1. Okay. I think that if I had to guess, that's probably more of the conversation we had about Jeff Stoutland. So I think moving the pocket, number 1. I would say, it's crazy that I'm going to say this, I think it's middle field throws, number 2. Really? they needed him to run the ball last year.
Yeah.
They needed him to be a bigger part of the run game.
Yeah.
It was, and I think the changes on the offensive staff might make it a little bit less necessary, less of a load-bearing wall for Jalen to be part of the run game. So for that, and it's obvious that he wasn't comfortable, wasn't willing to be a big part of the run game. I don't know if that's just going to switch next season. So I would say the middle field throws. If Sean Mannion is getting guys wide open in the middle of the field with regularity, I do think Jalen Hurts will do it. So I'd say middle field throws 2, and then I would say being a bigger part of the run game, number 3.
Interesting.
It's crazy to think 12 months ago what I would have said about that question there.
All right, let's now pivot. That'll close the book on the Parx Preview presented by our friends at Parx. Let's turn now to Greg Cosell, a man who many would say his biggest problem is that he knows too much. The man knows ball inside and out, and he has some thoughts on the Eagles' offense, moving from Kevin Patullo and Jeff Stoutland to Sean Mannion, Josh Grizzard, and whoever else is going to be coaching the guys up front. Found walking around Radio Row as today is a ball knower's day. Who knows more ball than Greg Cosell? Greg, the big news for the Eagles,
Right.
Jeff Stoutland moving on to what we don't know yet.
Right.
How significant do you think this is for the Eagles moving forward?
Well, maybe I'm in the minority, but sometimes I think change is good. I mean, I think they made change, clearly with the offense, with who they brought in. They brought in a lot of young minds that have come from different places, different approaches and philosophies than the Eagles have had. I think that remains to be seen. I mean, it's easy to say it's bad because obviously over the years they've had really good run games and Stout's a good O-line coach. But, how do you think the Eagles season ended this year?
Poorly.
So is sometimes change good when that happens?
Sure, I think that's fair. And I also think it's important, as you say, to separate, as we talked on the show today, separate Jeff Stoutland, the offensive line coach, from Jeff Stoutland, the run game coordinator.
I mean, for any number of reasons, and we probably won't get into them all right now, but the run game was not very good this year. There's always 10 reasons for that, so it's not a matter of blaming one person, but it was not a very good run game, whereas the year before it was a historic run game. But clearly, this is a team and an organization that believes it can play in a Super Bowl every year, and when you get a home game at the Link in January, you don't expect to lose to a team with inferior talent that has a ton of injuries. So, they felt changes were in order, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I think that's fair. Now, as we think about what this offense is going to look like, it was an interesting search in that it didn't feel like there was necessarily a particular scheme that they were wedded to adding. If you think about interviewing Jim Bob Cooter or Matt Nagy, guys who are not necessarily of the Shanahan tree, and yet they do end up hiring someone who's going to be like that. Do you feel like in today's NFL it is a prerequisite to run that offense to have success?
I think there's a lot of ways you can play offense. I don't think only one or two offenses are the way you have to play. Okay. And I think that most offenses now have many elements from multiple offensive philosophies. I don't think there's any, I would bet that if Kyle Shanahan was giving a clinic, he would be talking about multiple concepts, not just the things that we think of what Kyle Shanahan does. Sure. Or Sean McVay constantly is expanding what he does and thinking of new things. So I think it's good to get young people in who are going to challenge. I think Jalen Hurts is at the point in his career where you want to challenge him. You want a coach to come in, and I don't know Sean Mannion at all. Yeah. I don't know Josh Grizzard at all. But I think you basically want to come in with the attitude of, hey, Jalen, we're going to make you better than you've ever been. We're going to take you to heights that you've never been. Some days are going to be tough. You may not like me. Some days are going to be great. But when all's said and done, you're going to be better than you've ever been. And I think it's good to challenge players, no matter how good they are. I think that's this is the NFL. Nothing remains the same. Nothing is static. So I don't think it's a bad move at all.
And so making Jalen Hurts the best version that he's ever been, what are one or two things that you think would be added to the best version of Jalen Hurts' game?
Well, I think the pass game has to be expanded. And I think you as a coach, this is just my opinion, of course I'm not a coach, but I think you have to understand his limitations, but you can't let them define how you play. Does that make sense?
Of course.
Because you've got to get past that. Like you can't be an offensive coordinator with the Eagles and say, well, historically Jalen has not thrown a lot of balls between the numbers, so therefore we're never going to throw the ball between the numbers. I don't think you can say that. I think you got to come in and you got to say, here's what we're going to do, and you know what? We're going to make you really good at this by how we go about teaching it, how we go about implementing it, how we go about calling it in games. We're not going to go into a game saying, well, he can't do that, so that's not in our game plan or playbook. I think you got to expand it and you got to challenge him.
And of course, there's there are changes on the margins, right? There's a huge
right.
You don't have to be dead last in throwing between the numbers. You also don't have to be first.
No, of course not.
As long as he gets to 20th or something like that, that's a significant change.
Well, the point is it has to be part of your offense. It can't be not part of your offense.
All right, last thing I want to ask you about is just the Nick Sirianni experience. As now it seems like this offensive staff is not of his upbringing and his friends necessarily.
That's okay.
How do you feel about him as the CEO coach, as they say?
Yeah, and that's okay. Look, we're in Philadelphia. We know how things are. I think you'd have to say Sirianni's record's pretty good as a head coach. And for some reason, people think he doesn't do anything. You'd have to be in the building every day to know what he does and what he doesn't do. I'm not in the building every day. I can't comment on that. What we can comment on is the fact that the Eagles have been in 2 of the last 4 Super Bowls, and they've won 1 and came very close to winning another, and his record is really good. So, I mean, to me, because it's very hard to win in this league on any Sunday, and it's certainly hard to get to a Super Bowl. So I would say that Nick Sirianni, as the Eagles head coach, has actually done pretty well.
All right, well, there you have it. Greg Cosell. Check out his videos with Fran Duffy on PhiladelphiaEagles.com from like 10 years ago. And we'll be back with more on PHLY Eagles. So I get to the airport yesterday, and I meet up with our social media manager, Ben, and we look at each other, and we're both wearing the Wawa sweatshirts. And we looked at each other and we said, this is a man who knows about the deal going on where you can get any Sizzly, any coffee, hot or iced, any size, and a hash brown for just $5 from 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. Ben is more of a sausage, egg, and cheese guy. I'm a bacon, egg, and cheese guy. But we gave each other the look, and we knew that this guy knows ball. So here's what you need to know. Available only in the mornings from 5 to 11 a.m. Any Sizzly, any kind of hot or iced coffee, and a hash brown, the whole thing for just $5. You can't get a better deal than that. They've also got these great flavors for the coffee that you want. There's a caramel chocolate craze that's people are going crazy for. So when you need to start your day right, you start it at Wawa.
Next, let's talk about Mars Men. For those of you out there dealing with energy crashes in the afternoon or maybe some unexpected weight gain, it's important to know that you're not alone and Mars Men may be the right solution. Going into the new year, you can turn the clock back and make things easier on your body the natural way with Mars Men, a potent and natural testosterone stack that optimizes your body's ability to forge usable testosterone. You may have heard about TRT as an alternative, but Mars Men lets you boost your testosterone without the weekly shots for the rest of your life. Go to their site and you'll get a 90-day money-back guarantee, so there's no risk. And for a limited time, our listeners get 50% off for life, plus free shipping and 3 free gifts at mengotomars.com. It's a perfect way to kick off the new year strong. That's mengotomars.com for 50% off and 3 free gifts when you check out. After your purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them our show sent you.
Welcome back to the PHLY Eagles podcast, live from Radio Row, Thursday afternoon. Bo Wulf, EJ Smith, continuing to talk Jeff Stoutland. Let's get to a couple of your super chats first. Alex Medina says the only good thing about the Eagles losing is they don't have to wear that ugly 250 patch. And Alex Medina jumps back again. He says, he's inserting a Waterboy quote, "We suck again." Reference?
I mean, it's still a very talented team.
You have tough news about Rob Schneider's divorce, don't you think?
Got nothing to say.
You didn't hear about that?
I didn't hear about it.
It's like
Should I have?
20 years his minor. Probably had enough of the anti-vax talk, you know what I mean?
I got nothing for any of this. Should I have known that, though?
Depends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell everybody why you're wearing that shirt?
Good question. Now, eagle-eyed viewers will have noticed that in the Jordan Mailata interview, Jordan Mailata.
You keep doing that.
Trying to perfect it. Jordan Mailata. I was wearing a shirt you've seen me wear before, the Bo Jackson hoodie. And, you know, a risky shirt to wear today. Maybe a little bit look at me, but that's okay. And then, what do you know? I'm wearing that shirt, and right in front of me, there walks by Bo Jackson himself. What an opportunity. The man who I have modeled my personality after for the past 39 years. My namesake, a hero. And I tell Ben to follow me, our social media superstar. Say, you know, maybe we can get a quick video or just a picture to have, you know, Bo and Bo.
Yeah.
It'd be fun. I say, Bo, can I get a picture real quick? And now Bo, to be fair, was not super interested.
Yeah.
He could have been nicer. But his handler steps in and gets all huffy and goes, come on. If he takes a picture with you, he's got to take a picture with everybody. And I'm like, everybody here wearing a Bo Jackson shirt? you dingleberry? And then he says something else, and I'm like, I kind of lost it. I said, you don't have to be an a-hole about it. And I didn't say a-hole. He was like, oh, you really want to do this? And I'm like, F you, and I walk away. Now,
you didn't say that, did you?
I didn't say the F you.
Okay,
I didn't say the F you part.
yeah.
No, I just walked away. I'm just like, you know. And it was the final straw because, listen, we are very lucky, very grateful to be here.
Yes.
It's a really cool opportunity. We get to create a lot of good content. We get to talk to interesting people. We get to hear things. That's probably the most important part about the Eagles that we would not have otherwise heard.
Yep.
We get to do a lot of really good reporting. But part of the deal here is getting turned down a lot.
Yeah.
And waiting for 15 minutes to hope that you can get 2 minutes with, I don't know, Jordan Love about Sean Mannion.
Would have been nice.
Or like Reed Blankenship, who we do a podcast with. Or just like Jabrones, who, you know, we don't particularly care about too much, but the content machine rolls on. And to just get turned down and it makes you feel so small.
Yeah.
And so for the Bo Jackson handler, who, you know, as far as I'm concerned, I would like to step on and squish him like a bug, and is a nobody himself. For him to get all huffy with me, I was seething, just seething. So obviously, I can't keep wearing.
This is only like halfway through this story.
The Bo Jackson hoodie, but I don't have time. We are running around like chickens with our heads cut off here.
Yeah.
I don't have time to go change, but I feel gross wearing the shirt. And then I'm waiting to talk to Kirk Cousins of all people, because I hear that Kirk Cousins and Sean Mannion are very close. Kirk Cousins is there, and I think longtime viewers know how I feel about Kirk Cousins. Oh, that's me. And but still, you know, I'll swallow my pride. I'll talk to the guy. Let's find out some information on Sean Mannion. You know, ended up getting 30 seconds of a walk and talk on a reverse iPhone. Not very good audio. You may never see it. But while I'm waiting there, debasing myself again, an angel comes over. Mm-hmm. An angel descends from heaven, walks over to me, says, I like your hoodie. Mm-hmm. I said, thank you very much.
And you're like, I hate it.
And it's a very comfortable hoodie.
Yeah.
It is one of my favorite articles of clothing. And he says, I'm the founder of that company.
Wow.
Unbelievable. And then he says, here's a shirt.
Not a shirt.
Not a shirt.
The
shirt. And it's my size. I mean, can you imagine the kismet of
odds?
that?
Yeah.
To be saved by the founder himself.
The founder.
Oh, my God. What a turnaround. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. You know what? No free ads.
Free ad.
Free ad. Homage. Support them because they bailed me out of a sticky situation when I was getting ready to kick all these tables over and start yelling at the top of my lungs.
Shout out to Frank Barber for the $2 super chat. He said, justice for Bo.
Yeah.
And Steve Whitaker said, this is all David Baker's plan.
Well, if he does this with you, he's going to do it with everybody.
This was cathartic
Look at me.
for you. This was cathartic for you, wasn't it? Radio Row is a great opportunity to get some really good reporting done. But it is the nature of being a reporter is like, waves washing over a stone.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that stone's not going to budge at all. And then the one time it does, that's when you
that's
get,
a good.
Yep, that's when you hit
Have you
pay
used that before?
shout out
That's
to
a pretty good one.
Shout out to my former colleague Mike Sealski. He said that to me recently, and I've just been thinking about it a lot. It's like waves washing over a stone.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think anybody likes to feel that way.
Nobody does, but it's part of the job. The other thing, so the worst thing.
The PR handlers. I mean, give me a break.
The worst thing about being a reporter is transcribing.
I was walking around here yesterday with Brandon Graham. He's getting stopped every which way.
Yeah.
He can't take 2 steps without getting stopped, and he takes pictures with a smile on his face. Now he's
like Radio Row proof.
100th percentile,
Yeah.
of course. But it's the handlers who they have 1 week a year where they're important, and they get it's a lesson that you learn over and over again. You give anybody a little bit of power, and they are gonna let that go to their head so much. You see it at you go to like a golf tournament. Okay?
Me and Lindsay are looking at each other like, how long is he going to
You
go
go
on this?
and there's the volunteers who are in charge of the rope, and just that little bit of power they've been given, they start getting all haughty, and it's take a break. Remember that you are not a big deal. Get the hell out of here.
It's been a good week. We've gotten some great guests. We've had a lot of fun. We've hung out with our friends. It's been great.
Jordan Mailata.
Jordan's awesome.
Now, what's the reverse here?
What do you mean?
Where is Jordan Mailata
in
your ranking of your favorite players in the locker room?
I would say that there is like a 1A, B, C, D, E. I'd have probably 5 players who I have equal appreciation for them being generous with their time, insightful when I talk to them, and just generally really nice people. And Jordan is probably, I got to put him 1 today.
Yeah.
He's 1.
Yeah. I think that's fair. He came through in a big spot.
Some of the other ones might surprise some of our viewers.
I know who number 53 is.
No, no, we're not. I don't strongly dislike anybody in that locker room. I don't dislike anybody in that locker room. AJ Brown is the one that people would be surprised is 1. If Jordan's 1, I guess you'd call AJ Brown 1B.
Yeah,
I appreciate him for being mostly generous with his time and insightful. I don't need to go through the whole top 5.
What else do you have in your notes?
I wanted to, so I had Bo's shirt in my notes. I wanted
You want me to go again?
No, please no. For any of our viewers who are like coffee people, because I feel like we got to get the sights and sounds of Radio Row, and this is very close to my heart. And if anybody out there is like a coffee espresso person, then they'll appreciate this. There is a free coffee stand on the way in here. And
coffee, not freak coffee.
Free coffee stand. And on my way in, the first day, Bo is trying to get me to walk 20 minutes to some coffee shop he found on Google Maps.
Man, I wanted to explore the city.
And I'm like, Bo, I'm going to tell you right now, the machines that they're using at that place, no free ads, but they are I know those are really nice machines, expensive. They're home machines, but they're really not. They're commercial machines. You'd be shocked at how much they cost. It's 5 figures. So I was like, honestly, we could get coffee here. We ended up walking to get
No.
coffee.
No. You're lying.
Yes,
now.
that is exactly what happened.
No. You said, I'm going to tell you this coffee's better than where we're going, but you wanted to take the walk. The whole point, the whole purpose was to get out of here, to explore a little bit.
But needless to say, the coffee here has been incredible. It's been free, which is
Yeah.
If it's free,
it's
it's
a
me.
long line.
And the thing I wanted to tell you is, I'm gonna get a little bougie here. The grinders that they use, like to grind the beans. Yeah, that's a good song. The coffee grinders they use, I don't have the exact one at my house because it's huge and it's a commercial machine.
Yeah.
But I've got like the residential version. It's a little smaller, and the noise is the same. So every time I hear them grinding beans over there, it's like a Pavlovian for me. It's
How
like,
different do you feel
coffee.
like, coffee grinders really sound?
They sound much different. Some are super loud, some are really quiet, but some of them are really slow. That one right there is quick. It's not super loud. I would say it's moderately volumed.
Grinder is big in San Francisco,
Yeah, okay.
You're telling the truth.
I have a question about my room.
Okay.
I was going to do this with Shiel. Maybe we
Jordan Mailata.
Maybe we will also do this with Shiel. I don't know if I was supposed to tease Shiel.
Tomorrow's episode.
Yeah, we'll have Shiel on tomorrow's episode. I'm excited for that.
Shiel Kapadia, for people who don't know.
I've been keeping the Do Not Disturb on all week, but I was out of towels, so I flipped it. And I really just wanted towels, but I should have specified that. In the bathroom, I will take the cup that I rinse. I rinse with the cup, and then I'll put my toothbrush in the cup. I'll rinse, pour out the water, put it down, put my toothbrush in it, so my toothbrush can dry out on an angle, right?
Okay. Lindsay's losing it over here.
What's so weird about that? What do you mean? Oh no, I would never put my mouth on a hotel sink. I couldn't do that. I gotta get the water and drink the water. That makes sense, right?
Wait, are you saying you would drink from the faucet?
No, Lindsay, we can't drink from the faucet.
No. But you not straight into your mouth.
I don't want to.
Wait a second, Lindsay, you're going like this under the.
Oh, Lindsay.
What?
No. Lindsay,
what do you mean? What's the difference? Whoa! This is the craziest thing we've ever learned about Lindsay.
No, you share a toothbrush head. Okay, about Lindsay. Okay, fine. Sorry.
Yeah. You're just going full giraffe mode?
No, Lindsay,
just
we got to use the
your
cup.
neck in there?
We got to use the cup. You can't let your mouth touch the hotel sink.
What about just your hands?
I wouldn't want to drink from my hands either. I don't know. I don't know why, but I wouldn't want to. I'm weird about hands, as we've established. So I got the cup. I
don't think we can spend too much time on this. What if the bowl is not deep enough?
You can't fit your head in there.
Yeah. There are sinks that don't. You've never had that issue?
Oh, come on. That's crazy. All right. So
this is chat, please. This is nuts. This is crazy. All right, go ahead.
All right, so I put the toothbrush in the cup so that the bristles can air out, and that's how I keep it the whole time I'm there.
Okay.
Now, I know, I think we've talked before about when the housekeeper moves your stuff around and how to feel about it.
Sure.
They moved my toothbrush out of my thing, and that already is I don't want anybody touching my toothbrush.
Now you know that they've touched your toothbrush.
Yeah, and then they put it face down.
Just making faces.
They put it face down on a towel.
Face down?
It was on a towel.
Oh, we can't be doing face down.
I'm not putting that towel in my mouth. So I don't want my toothbrush to touch the towel.
Feel towel mouth over here.
Yeah, I'm no, now this toothbrush.
You can't be putting a toothbrush face down on anything.
Talk about debasing my toothbrush.
Oh, that is tough.
Yeah, so I rinsed it off with hot water. But I think I got to swap out the toothbrush head when I get home. I feel like that one's done now.
That is tough.
Yeah. So, just
I just put it face up, as far away from the sink as possible.
Face up but what do you put it in a cup?
No, I don't put it in a cup. I lay
got the
it
base.
Down. No,
okay.
I do not have the electric toothbrush with me on the road. Lindsay's got the case.
I've got a case, but I like to let it air out. I don't like it to sit in there. Yeah, okay, I could see that.
You have the case, but you don't use the case?
I want it to sit vertical so it airs out and can drip down and everything. I want that thing to be dry. I don't want mold on my toothbrush.
Lindsay's laughing at I want that thing to be dry. And with that...
What did you say? Oh, go ahead.
Not quite.
No, it's not quite there. When we get to overtime, you should tell them what you said to Sean Syed yesterday.
I don't remember what I said.
About our phones?
I don't think we need to get to that.
Okay, fine. Something that is actually not too far for the show.
Yeah, I don't think that needs to be said. Josie Altidore over there. How about that?
Oh, yeah, we should have done more.
Saw Hercules Gomez earlier.
Saw Donovan McNabb. Was disappointed not to be able to talk to him, but
maybe we'll talk to him in overtime. Yeah. You know who else we saw?
I see Mike Jones, my guy.
Who?
Very good.
You know who else we saw here, by the way? Maybe this is honestly what led to me being in such a bad mood.
Oh, yeah.
And it was right before the Bo Jackson
It was.
thing.
I was telling you to look at this person when you chased down Bo Jackson.
So now that I think about it and take a step back, it's actually pretty clear to see that this was a one-to-one. That the most frustrating day, the most maddening day here, was also the day that we were in the orbit of A.J. Dillon. What is A.J. Dillon doing at Radio Row?
You know, it's funny because we said him. Did we do this on air or off air where we said the players least and most likely to be on Radio Row?
Yeah.
And we said A.J. Dillon.
Yeah, of course.
Was most likely.
The guy loves, he'll take whatever publicity he can get.
Be nice to him. I mean, no, I guess
Why?
Be nice to him. I got nothing. I got nothing bad to say about A.J. Dillon.
I have some bad things to say about him.
I know you do.
Yeah, I mean.
Anyway, I've seen a lot of my former Temple classmates on Radio
Yeah.
Row. That's been good.
Yeah, a little Temple pride going on.
Yeah. I taught a class from Radio Row.
How was that?
It was great. Yeah, I was worried that it was like, you hear the cautionary tale of like Zoom classes, that nobody wants to be in them, and that they're just significantly worse. But no, we had a good lesson, had a good discussion, and they were interested in Radio Row, like they wanted to see it. So yeah, I would try to give them a real look at the spectacle that is Radio Row.
Yeah, it's a good time.
It is.
It is. And it is the end of the show. That's all we got. We're going to go try to get some more interviews, procure them, like they'd be turned down. Maybe you get one yes for every 19 no's. You know what? That's how you get married, right? Hey, Ben. Ben reminds me that I have another story to tell. That's maybe not really that interesting of a story, other than to say that Ben and I yesterday, we cheated death. And we saw something that we'll never forget. And, let's just say that I think we all agree that there's a particularly odious company out there that has a monopoly on merchandise.
You're trying to get yourself in trouble today.
But just to see, like, the signature game and how it comes together, terrifying.
Yeah.
But Ben and I survived.
I'm glad you guys made it back. Stoutland News brought you back.
Stoutland saved us, just like he saved so many of his players.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that'll do it for this episode of the PHLY Eagles podcast. Thank you to Jordan Mailata for joining us and giving us his perspective on Jeff Stoutland. Thank you to Greg Cosell for joining us. Stay tuned for tomorrow's episode of the PHLY Eagles podcast. The great Jordan Rodriguez and Greg Rosenthal.
That was so much fun.
Are going to join us. Yeah. Fun conversation. And Sheil Kapadia, formerly of Philly.com, will join us as well. And anything else we get? Maybe a Reed Blankenship perspective on Joe Casper. Who's to say? You never know what happens on Radio Row. Thank you to Lindsay. Thank you to Ben. Most of all, thank you to EJ for making it all happen. As always, we love you.
We all silly like the mayor.